This is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. Today I have a very exciting episode for you. What we're going to do today is fill this bed. And one of the questions actually I get a lot is, hey John, how many times do you use your compost, and after every season do you like shovel it all out and then like get new stuff? No. You don't want to be doing that. You know, I could equate like soil to like a fine wine, right? A fine wine, supposedly like with age and with time they get better. Well, with time and added nutrition, your soil only improves from the original state it was in, because most topsoils are devoid of minerals. They don't have like biologic activity like fungus and friendly bacteria in there. They all work in symbiosis to make your soil really rich. So there's no way that I'd want to take this out and put new stuff in unless I was actually selling it for about $100 a yard. Then you could have all you want. But after every season, what happens is this compost literally sinks down. So let me show you how much this literally sinked down just in this past season here. So you can see here on this, it's literally dropped down like at least 4 inches. The soil level used to be up here to the top, and in addition to the top, what happens is, I don't know, for some reason, like the soil sunk and is not even down here. So we need to fill all this area up with some soil. I like to fill my raised beds all the way up to the brim, because underneath here is actually a good space for these guys. Check it out. Underneath there, if you don't fill up the soil all the way, it gives a place for snails and slugs to hide. And we don't want these guys in the garden. They're going to actually eat your stuff. So that's why I like to fill this up to the brim and actually underneath and pack in the soil so that these guys can't get in there. So what today's episode is going to be about is we're going to go to Sonoma Compost to pick up some soil to fill up this bed, and we're going to show you the whole process of picking it up, bagging it up, and bringing it back and filling the bed so that we can plant fall and winter vegetables. So now we're here at Sonoma Compost, and this is where I get my compost, and they've saved like tons and tons and tons of waste going, instead of going to the landfill, it comes here. So all the yard scraps, food waste and food trimmings, things like that, they take that out of the regular waste stream, they divert it here, they turn it into compost so that you and me can buy it. Even vineyards and farms could buy this stuff and re-enrich their soil and make it a lot healthier. So what we're going to do today is we're going to pick up some of the biodynamic compost. So this is where all the magic happens. They got big, huge piles of compost that's composting. I mean, after all, compost happens. And they got different stacks at different stages. They got the big loaders like turning the compost, and I think right now they're going to load up an 18-wheeler with the compost. So when I originally built the beds in the front of my house, I did get one of those big 18-wheelers loaded up with compost, and they literally dumped that in the front, like in the street and on the sidewalk, covering the sidewalk and the street. We had to take it wheelbarrow at a time. I think I got like 55 cubic yards of compost to begin with. So I mean, that's how serious I am about compost. I mean, after all, we are what we eat, and we are what we eat, especially if it's the plants coming out of the ground. They are what they eat or what they feed on, which is the earth, which is compost. So it's very important and critical that you get a high quality, organic, and even biodynamic compost. So when you get to Sonoma Compost, there's 2 areas. On the right side of the building, this is where you're going to drive up if you have a truck, and they're going to take the big loader and load it up for you. You're actually going to drive to the left of the building, where we're going to go right now, if you're just driving up in your car and you're going to load up pre-bagged stuff, or if you're going to bag up your own. So on this side of the building, they got little piles that you could actually bag it up yourself. And some piles, they have some stuff pre-bagged, so you just literally pick up the bag, toss it in your car, pay for it, and get going. They have all the different grades of compost, from the regular Sonoma compost, the high-test compost, the Featherlight mix, and they also have the Mallard, which is what I used to get. But we're going to go over the other side where they have the biodynamic Sonoma compost and the biodynamic high-test compost. So let's head over there next. We're going to bag up some biodynamic compost. Right here, they got the Sonoma biodynamic compost, but we're going to get the high-test biodynamic compost. That's like the top level and their best stuff. No matter which one you buy, they now have basically small piles in the back that you could come and shovel your own. Or if you take a look here, they got it pre-bagged up for you, so you don't even have to shovel it. You don't have to bring bags. You just literally pick these up, load them in your car, drive away. And I can definitely tell you that this is the cheapest price for any biodynamic compost in Sonoma County. Normally number one, biodynamic compost is really hard to find. And number two, this is an amazingly affordable deal. You have no excuses if you live in Sonoma County not to have good soil, because you can use this compost. I'm not gonna get the Sonoma Biodynamic, I'm gonna get the Sonoma High Test Biodynamic. So that's next door. And what I'm gonna do for an even better deal than just buying the pre-bag stuff, you can bring your own bags. So we brought a bunch of bags here, and we're literally just gonna fill these bags up with the compost. So it takes some back-breaking labor. To save labor, you might want to come on a dry day. If you come right after it rains, the compost is more wet, so that means it's also heavier. Also, they charge you by the bag, so whether you bring a big bag or a small bag, it's the same price. So get the largest bags that you possibly can. Another question may come up, John, where do you get the bags? These are standard feed sack bags. So where would you get feed sack bags? Well, you get them from a feed store. So go to your local feed store. They may give you the used bags, or they may sell them to you for a nominal cost. They may also sell you, brand new feed sack bags for not too expensive. But you could use those to fill them up so that you could just transport compost in a normal car without having a truck. So basically we got a 5-gallon bucket with the hole cut out of it. We're just gonna put this in here. This acts as a funnel to keep the bag stable, and line it up and just start scooping all the compost in. So I figure my car can hold about 9 of these bags, so we got some work to do to fill up all 9 bags and put them in the car. So I'm gonna get back to that, and I'll show you when we're all done. So here's the world's first. I'm getting my first bag of biochar. I've been looking for this stuff for a long time. It's just a standard unmarked bag. I think this is like 20 pounds for $20. And what is biochar? Biochar is kind of like charcoal, but it's not. You can't just take briquettes from the barbecue and put on your garden. That's not going to do the same thing, and those briquettes may actually be treated with some actually nasty chemicals to help them burn. So you want to get the real biochar stuff, and what this is going to do, this is also going to build your soil. So now you might be thinking, John, I'm so confused. What do I have to put in my garden to grow? Well, you really don't need to put biochar. What you really need is you need the compost or biodynamic compost to top it off, and then I'd highly encourage you to put rock dust, and then after that, maybe the mycorrhiza, and then the biochar. But all this and the garden and the soil, it all works as a big system. All this stuff comes together to grow the best food possible. So why not, if you're gonna garden or do anything, one of my teachers says, if you're gonna take the time to do something, take the time to do it right. So just get the biochar, it's 20 bucks, and it's gonna build up your soil so that you can have the best, richest soil and the best, richest food. So we're gonna take this back to the car, load it up, and get out of here. So we got the biochar, we got 8 bags of the biodynamic high test compost. We're gonna put this down here. Barely fit. So we picked up some nice huge pots for my trees from Recycle Town for a really good price, and they're gonna go in the car too. And now hopefully if I planned it right, this is gonna shut. Right, so I'm ready to go home with our mounds literally of compost and all the good stuff we got today. So we made it back, and now we're gonna re-enrich this bed. We've dug up a couple of the small spinach plants that basically reseeded itself, and they started coming up, so we have those in some boxes. We're gonna replant those after we top everything off. First step, always, you wanna top off, and every season, which is what I recommend, is you wanna put in some rock dust. So we got a bag of rock dust here, and conveniently, there's a hole in the bag, so it's just literally dribbling out the bottom of the bag, and we're just gonna evenly distribute it throughout the bed. And I'm probably gonna shovel it around a little bit. Now the recommended dosage is 1 pound per 1 square foot. So the next thing I like to add is earthworm casting. So we got a half bag here. I'd probably do a whole bag, but half bag's good enough. Just shake this guy out, evenly distribute it in the bed. Once again, what I'm doing now is building my soil. So I have a rich soil, because we are what we eat, and the plants are what they eat. So you want a lot of good nutrition in the plants. Besides the rock dust, I might add some kelp to it as well. But you know what? These things are extras. You don't really need them. You don't really need worm castings. You don't really need rock dust, although I highly recommend it. If you want to get the optimal growing, the best, highest quality foods, then you may want to consider using some of these things. I mean, you could just plant in the field behind your house and things would probably grow, but they may not grow as well. And once again, we want to try to do the best we can. If you can afford some of these things, then by all means get them. And if you can't, that's fine. Work with what you got. Next, the big gun's got to come out. So this is a heavy son of a gun. Got a this is heavy. We got a bag of the biodynamic compost. We're just gonna carefully dump in the bed. All right, got that bag dumped out. I don't think one bag's gonna do it. We're gonna have to dump a couple more bags on here. I'm just gonna go ahead and cover some of the rock dust up and get some of this stuff mixed in with the earthworm castings and the rock dust. I mean, you could use a shovel, but I got all the drip tubing in here, and you know what? I just like to use my hands, especially when I got gloves on. So we're just gonna mix this stuff up, man. Here's bag number 2. Emptied half this bag just using a scoop, actually. These things are heavy. I'm gonna just dump this guy out. I mean, it takes a lot of cubic feet of compost to fill this up. I mean, it looks like it went down like that much, but that's over a probably 4 foot by about, I don't know, 12 foot area. So let's dump this guy out next. So this one bed's already taken 2 of my 8 bags, and I got a lot more beds that I still need to fill up. So I'm gonna end up filling the rest of this up, and we'll be back at you when we're all finished. So I'm just about done smoothing this out. The sun's going down, and that's been a pretty full day between doing this and doing my regular work, taking breaks to come out and work in the garden. And I want to encourage everybody to basically get out in your garden every day, get some sun, get some fresh air and sunshine on your skin. Nothing can be healthier than that. I'm glad I got my garden bed re-enriched, and next time somebody asks me, hey John, what do you do with your compost every year? Do you take it out and replace it? The answer is no, and I'm going to tell them to watch this video. I basically supplement and add more compost, organic and biodynamic compost, the rock dust and the earthworm castings, and maybe some kelp powder, and some other things and other tricks up my sleeve, so that I could grow really high quality fruits and vegetables, because after all, that's my goal, and that's why I'm doing it. In any case, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and this reminds you that, you know, in order to enrich your garden, use compost, not bagged conventional fertilizers. Build your soil, because just like a good wine, a soil only gets better with age if you take care of it. Once again, my name is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. We'll see you next time, and remember, keep on growing.